welcome to a new episode of Une Sports. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Happy New Year, right, Mike? It's not too
Yes,
late.
sir. Yes, sir. Happy New Year.
Never too late. That's good. This is episode 94. We're back. It's been a long time. The audience probably have a lot to hear because it's been about almost a month, so we have a lot to say as well. But we're gonna categorize and get to each of our opinion that especially basketball. Like we know we're halfway through the season, we have so much to say about that. I know you have a lot to say as well, but we will get to all topics in the next few months.
Yep.
And all right, so there was a Premier League today, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
I know your team got a victory that you did not really like, but you said you're
You
taking
know,
it. So 3-1 versus Southampton.
three more points away from the relegation zone. I'll
That's
take
great. Great taking, bro.
it.
Brighton also won against Ipswich Town 2-0. Arsenal won against Tottenham 2-1. Tottenham was leading. Um, might be the end of Enge, maybe. Crystal Palace 2-0 against Leicester City. Not a great debut couple games for Wood van Nistelrooy, but probably gonna have to give him time anyways. Aston Villa versus Everton 1-0. Aston Villa won. Newcastle beat Wolves 3-0. Wolves going straight to hell.
Mm-hmm.
Liverpool versus Nottingham Forest tie 1-1. Nottingham Forest was leading through 66 minutes. Jota equalized. Manchester City 2-2 against Brentford. I thought it was gonna be a Manchester City victory, but still into the rough areas.
Yeah, and if it wasn't
Sometimes
for a Nathan Ake goal line clearance, could have been
could
3-2.
have been, yeah, exactly. Fulham lost against West Ham 3-2. They were just waiting for Lopetegui to leave. Uh, Chelsea versus Dortmund 2-2. Chelsea, who is basically Mariska was describing those moments were supposed to happen, but since they had a great, they were like winning, people thought
Yeah.
like they could get to the like
Challenging for the
challenging, but
for
Mariska, hey, like yo, buddy, like take it easy.
we're
You're
just
not
ahead
gonna
of
get us like
schedule.
that. Even I think even Cole Palmer said it when they asked him like, "Can you guys and you saw his face by like, "Ah, come on, like, don't start this," because no, I mean like it's still a young team, so they're still building. So those games should have been happening because
hmm
that's not saying that they're not playing. They have a style of playing right now,
And
so
they're playing. They're still playing well. I mean, if
they're
you look
playing
at
well.
the
It's just the results like were so positive. People
yeah.
forget that there's a team that is just literally came back from like a bad season,
Yep.
So yeah, like I think that's gonna be your path also. There's gonna be times you're gonna like 1 month
Hey
of
man, I
victories and
hope.
then it's gonna be horrible too because you're so far away from where it's supposed to be. So like that's how it's supposed to be. It's normal, you know. I know people don't like to give time anymore, but it's normal things. It's the same world, guys. Nothing has changed. Like let's not make it worse. Um, let's get to the first topic of the day. We're gonna talk about Detroit
hmm
Pistons and a little bit of Orlando as well because they're two similar teams. I feel like, like built properly and gotta. Well, Orlando's getting this result in Detroit. Hopefully, they can build from what they're seeing as a positive trend as at the moment right now.
hmm
And we've seen a lot of young teams building as well that are getting there. Rockets. Who else? So OKC
Yeah.
is
I mean,
already
yeah.
there, or they're there, and unfortunately, Charlotte did not work. But that's why I want to talk about that's why I want to talk about Detroit and Orlando because it's looking positive for them. And Detroit could either go positive or negative, but they're doing well. So,
Yep.
first, as a basketball player, have you ever been like in teams that you were losing,
Yeah, for sure. It's
like
not like,
lag?
yeah, it's not like, the team that, you know, I grew up playing with in my high school. Like, it's not like we were elite. Like, at some point in time, like, yeah, it was great, but that was before my time. Like when I was a starter, I can't even say that, like our team was elite. Like we were probably just middle of the park. Like we were
Did you
good.
guys make to the like? Did you have playoffs?
Yeah, we
Did you
got
make it to the
playoffs.
playoffs?
Yeah, we got to
All right, so
playoffs.
you're average team.
Yeah,
So it's
just
not.
average.
But so have you ever been in 2 seasons straight that you guys were like not winning at all?
For sure.
So
Yep,
would
for
you say
sure.
it's because of experience or like you're young
Yeah,
or
it's experience. It's
less
also
talent?
exactly. Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's it's a combination of both. It's experience, it's less talent, and one thing that, people always say as well is like, when it comes to playoff time is like, it's something that I'll even admit, man. It's like sometimes the moment is bigger than you. Like you
Okay.
start you start
Damn.
you start fearing, like you start,
Opponent snatching your soul.
nah, it's like you don't play freely, and you're like, instead of playing the game to actually win, you're playing to not make mistakes, if that makes sense. Like, so you're
So
you're afraid you're afraid to actually
you're
be,
afraid of the moment.
yeah, you're afraid to be the reason why the team loses. Like, especially if the team is not playing
So you're
well.
playing safe.
Yeah, yeah. So like, I'm a victim of that as well. I can't even come in here and like boast like, nah, man, I was the best. I was
You're
like,
doing the Odegaard dance. You're doing the Odegaard dance. If it's
Yeah.
past possible, like.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So,
I see what you're saying. No, it's
mhm,
pretty clear. Like sometimes when you're in those moments that you're like very safe, and then time is passing by, and you're
mhm,
like, all right, I gotta get into the game, and it's too late. Sometimes I see it.
yeah.
You don't even see that in the NBA. Like,
I think I've told that story one time on the podcast before. Like, when one of my teammates, after a game when we got blown out by 30, he got into me because he was like, "Yo, I don't even know why you're upset, because every time, like every game when we're practicing at home, you be busting our asses, and then you
but
go
when
on the
you get,
road,
yeah,
you start acting like you forgot how to play basketball."
you're like, ooh,
So yeah, so
yeah.
that always cut deep, and like, I always remember that to this day.
That's nice because like I
Yeah.
wanted to kind of segue into like young teams that are like a young team like Detroit, right?
Hmm.
They've been building for like over 2 3 years. They had your guy, like your favorite player, killing A's at some moment. He was supposed to be
Worst
kind of like
basketball player of all time.
he was supposed to be like a part of the backcourt
Hmm.
of the future for Detroit. Did not work. 4 years ago, they go and get uh, Cade Cunningham, but I'm not sure which position was Cade. It was number one pick, right?
Yes, he was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you come into a bad situation, right? It's not a good team, but you have young talent. Like you have Duran, you have my God,
Jaden
what's the
Ivey.
Jaden Ivey that was supposed to that was very like looked over by the Knicks as well. Like they were like scouting him, like they wanted him, but who else? Who else? You have one of the brothers, um
Oh, Thompson.
the Thompson, yeah,
The
one of them.
Thompson twins. Yeah.
And you add a little mix of like veterans from time to time. Like those
Yeah.
veterans are not gonna be there like for 2 3 years, but there's gonna be
Hmm.
uh like every 2 3 years there's gonna be like a different kind of veterans, but obviously like the way they're trying to go, they're always gonna bring good veterans. Like for example, you never know, they could get like a Bobby Portis who
Hmm.
helps you build, you know. So they get Beasley, they get Tobias Harris, your favorite player as well. Who else they got? They got another guy.
uh,
There's a Pope. No,
yeah.
Pope is in
No, Pope
Orlando.
is in
Pope is in
Orlando.
Orlando.
Yeah. I
I'm
mean, they
thinking
got
about
Isaiah
someone.
Stewart, crazy guy.
Yeah,
Mr.
the guy
Isaiah.
who almost wanted to beat LeBron James.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's get to the okay. Let
Oh,
me give
Tim
you.
Hardaway Jr. I think that's who we're
Yeah,
talking
that's
about.
what I was
Okay,
talking
okay.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me give you a stat, like to compare like the year before we get like deep in the conversation, like like the year
I know.
before and
I
this year.
know they eclipsed the win total already.
Yeah, but I think everybody knows that. So they did. Um, that's crazy, right? Like so in 2023, defense opponents point per game. 2020 they were allowing 119. This year they're allowing 111. I know it's 8 points, but that makes a lot of difference, Mike. We
Hmm.
don't. That's a game right here. Opponents field goal percentage. 2023 they were allowing 49. Now they're allowing 45. Opponents 3-point percentage. Last year they were allowing 37. Now it's 36. Rebounds per game last year they were averaging 43.3. That's offensive rebound, and this year they're averaging 46.4. I know it's just 3 points, but like, hey, 2 points can win you a game, you know. Steals per game, steals per game. I got you right here. Last year it was 6.5. Now it's 5.9. Oh, it's less, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Blocks per game, blocks per game. It's more. Last year was 4.7. This year is 5.5. Rebounds per game. That's defensive. 43.3, and this year's 46.4. And since December 21st, they're 10-2. What's your opinion about them?
Ooh,
What how
good
do you
record.
what can you do when you're a losing team and then you're like, okay, I'm going to this season and we're
Mhm.
we're gonna take everything that we've learned in the past 3 years and be like, okay,
I
we
mean,
got this.
it's credit to them, but I know like when you brought up the topic, you spoke of the word culture. You brought
Yeah.
that up, right? I mean, it
And we've
speaks.
we've
It
talked about those young guys in the
mm,
chat before, like last
yeah.
year,
Even
how
even
we don't.
myself,
Yeah.
like sorry to cut you off. I was critical of the contract that they gave to Cade Cunningham because I was like, he's in a losing situation. I don't feel like he's shown anything that warrants him getting this massive lucrative deal that I think is going to pay him like $50 million a season or something like that, right? So I didn't think that he was worth it, and come into this season like it's it's paying dividends. But one of the things I want to point out as well is that a lot of this has changed with not only them having a really good offseason where they actually got those veterans that they were able to mix in with those young guys, but also the fact that they hired JB Bickerstaff, who I think everybody thought that he was unfairly fired
Oh, for
from the
sure.
from the Cleveland Cavaliers. Like no
His
matter how
team
well
didn't
the
show up too.
yeah, no matter how well the Cleveland Cavaliers are doing right now, they're like, oh yeah, man, it's an improvement over JB Bickerstaff. I'm saying that it's probably just growth. Like the
Yeah.
guys are just they grew up a little bit more.
You saw what
Um,
Garland said? I got a couple other guys that I want to go at. Like
mhm,
he's really focused on this.
yeah.
Mobley too.
So
Mobley's
yeah,
very
Mobley as well.
focused.
So I think
Stronger. He's
yeah,
stronger.
yeah, they unfairly fired him. So that was a great hire by Detroit. And it takes a lot of mentality like to go into like, hey, we need to like make like something needs to change. Like we can't just be like nobody. There's very I can't say everyone, but there's very few players in the league I would say that are comfortable losing, right?
LaMelo
Bec-
Ball.
I was gonna bring him up in that conversation
Kate
because I
Cunningham actually said that he did like he
Mhm.
didn't like nobody likes losing. So
Yeah,
he
yeah.
yeah.
But it takes a lot of character, man. So they kind of grinded. They probably had great off season together.
And they just beat us too.
Yeah. It sucks that Jaden Ivey got injured, but
Yeah.
I think it's a nice blend that they really hit at the right time where these guys like wanted to actually make a change, and then they go into the season and they get some rhythm and they get some confidence under a new coach, and then they figure it out. Like
And
Malik Beasley, who wasn't performing well for the Lakers or
everyone who leaves the
or
Lakers perform, Mike. Everyone. Come on, bro.
so it's nice. It's nice.
And also like I feel like you see how you say you're critical. I think that's it's not just you. A lot of people criticize, be like, oh, when you're talking about Detroit, there's nothing to talk about. You know, when we're talking about 2 years, oh, there's not talking about like who's there. Oh, these guys are whatever. Like, okay, you have Kate Cunningham, you have Ivy, but overall, when you're looking at Detroit in the past 2 3 years, people were splashing them. I'd be like, okay, like, but it's also like the idea of like watching the game. Actually, like, I feel like if more people were watching Detroit, maybe they could have seen some stuff. That'd be like, okay, let them get hungrier. Maybe they're gonna have more like have more hunger to get more offensive rebounds. The like, cause he's like Kate Cunningham said something, right? He said, "What's different? Okay, different intention and mindset and attention to detail.
Hmm.
For example, you're a basketball player. What could be something that you were doing, your team was not doing well, and then you change it in next season? Just a very minor detail.
Yeah, rotate defensive rotations, close out on the 3-point line,
Boom, that gives you 3 games.
boxing out,
Yeah.
all those things, man.
But you
Those
gotta
little
learn,
attention to
right? To
details.
be able
Yeah.
to, so you gotta exactly. So I feel like those young teams, they're not allowing them to grow unless you're Charlotte. Unless you're Charlotte, just go at them, man. Like you just when you look at that team, you're just like, oh,
That's the
you
joke
know,
franchise.
I don't see no W at all. But
Yeah.
Detroit, I feel like I remember one time we were having that conversation, and then I was like, I'm like, I see a little talent, guys. Like I see a little talent. I'm not
I mean,
gonna say this season is like kind of proving the little talent. They could come back next season and then win 15
yeah,
games.
I mean they
I saw
drafted
the
well
Knicks.
because
Yeah,
they drafted well. I was always huge on Jaden Ivey, but keep going.
yeah, the Knicks wanted them.
Yeah.
But I was just saying, like, so I see a lot of growth for this team. I'm not sure where they're gonna go this season. I don't think it really matters. I think it's only gonna help them mentally
Yeah.
that they're like, oh, we can be in a winning situation. We're tasting blood a little bit, like
Yeah.
so we like it.
I
So
mean, it's already
we
a
want to stay
successful
in those.
season.
He's like Hawks. I mean, like you've been there for like 4 or 5 years. We want that. We want that spot. Like you haven't been doing nothing with that spot. So we want to take it. And let's kind of segue with someone that's like they want to take it. Orlando want to take some stuff in the East, and they've
Hmm.
been showing that even when Frank Wagner's hurt, I think he should be back after the All Star season, maybe. I mean All Star
Uh,
weekend.
I mean, one of the brothers is
No,
cooked.
Mo's done.
Yeah.
Mo
Yeah.
Wagner. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like those guys, but Mo's done. Um, Suggs, I have to look back because he was hurt recently as well
Yeah.
when he's gonna be back. But what's really impressive, I'm listing all of these guys, and Bronkero was out. They beat the Knicks recently, right? With all those guys out, and they've been doing a little bit beating as well the other teams. So, Paolo came back, but this is another team that was building something,
Hmm.
drafted well, and added a couple guys like Pope, Harris back in with Denver when they had that trade,
Yeah.
and you said they have length as well, and they could shoot, and they got
Yep.
heart.
Yeah,
So
that's one of the things I could say. Like they play
why are
like
they so
dog. They
good in
play
the
like
East right now?
they play like dogs.
Yeah,
I mean, well, I mean, let's call, it's not like, I'm not, what I'm gonna say is gonna probably gonna sound disrespectful, but I want to say it first that Orlando was already there last season. They were already in the playoffs, right?
yeah.
Um, but let's not act like the East is like strong.
No, it's not. That's
You
why.
know,
That's why I always
yeah,
say that's the
yeah,
worst time for Miami Heat to be
yeah,
like having in-house
poor, yeah.
beef, bro. You actually should be feasting right now. Yeah,
So yeah, the East is not
having
really
family
strong.
issues.
These guys they just play hard, man. The Coach Mosley, I think that's the head coach's name.
Coach of the
Guy,
year.
guy that we really didn't know his work or whatnot, but he put the team in position to be in the
You know why,
playoffs
Mike?
last year.
Cause you know why? Cause you know why? Cause like they're not scoping like the loop on these
Yeah,
guys.
yeah, but
They be
what
turning the channel.
But the other thing too that I'd like to add is that like teams like Detroit and Orlando, like for example, Orlando maybe a little less so, but Detroit is a storied franchise. I think they have 5 championships in their history. So this is a
Recently with
team,
the Billups team in
yeah,
Hamilton
in
and
oh
Ben
04.
Wallace.
Yeah, in 04, 05. And from that 03 to like 08 era, like that Piston team was legit, right? So this team has some history
History.
that,
Yeah.
yeah, they could look up to the banners. For Orlando, like, they
Seen
had
Isaiah
Shaq,
Thomas
yeah, they had the
in the
Shaq and
building.
Penny, yeah, for sure, in the 90s. They had the Shaq and Penny era, transition into Jameer Nelson, Dwight Howard era in '07. Like Orlando has never been a franchise I feel like, that's like terrible. Like outside of the location where people like kind of like joke about it, even though Universal is right there in Orlando, people are like, I think like that's not a team like
I was
it
thinking about
wasn't.
no, so you can you can
No,
you can go
go ahead,
go
go ahead.
no
What were you
no
thinking
because
about?
when you were saying that like Detroit has history, I was thinking
Hmm.
about like Big Sean that had a lyric it said like MJ had to see the bad boys. I mean no you're right like people forget like this is a franchise that has like value like you
Yeah.
can't stay losers for too long.
Yeah, it wasn't like Orlando is not a it wasn't it's not a franchise like it was like the New Jersey Nets, for example. Whenever somebody talk about the New Jersey Nets, they were always joking about them. Like even
Yeah,
though they went to a finals in
who they
what
play
oh
against?
two.
The
Uh,
Lakers?
was it the Lakers? It might have been the Lakers, honestly, in oh
Because
two. I
02
think it
Lakers
was
was beating everybody
yeah,
at
I
that
think it
time. You know
yeah.
that.
Um,
I
because
was,
it definitely wasn't the Spurs, so it might be the Lakers. So yeah, so the only thing that like that's still consistent with the Orlando Magic is the curse with the injuries, man. That's it. Like
yep.
Penny, everybody like even over the last recent years, man. Like they traded for Markel Fultz. Markel Fultz started playing well. Boom, gets injured. They drafted Jonathan Isaac. Boom, gets injured. Mo Bamba. Boom, gets injured. Now they're hit with the injury bug again, and it kind of sucks. But the one thing I would say is that this team plays with effort, and
Hmm.
Paulo Banquero is a very low key superstar. I don't know why they don't talk about him, but the only
Baby Mello.
yeah, what's
Just a
crazy?
little.
You know
I'm
what's
not
crazy?
gonna say Mello because nobody's never gonna be Mello, but it's Baby Mello.
Every time like he plays and they make a clip of him and it's like when they post it on X and they're like, "Yo, y'all gonna tell me y'all don't see it?" And I'm like, and I'm always confused. I'm like, "All right, are y'all saying that he's playing like Melo or y'all saying he's playing like LeBron? Which is it?" Like, because
Oh
I'm
nah, he doesn't play like LeBron. That's
because I'm always
he
confused.
doesn't like the thing is that I don't want to get it confused. Nobody plays like Melo.
Yeah.
Nobody can play like Melo. If everyone I've seen Melo play, nobody ever played like Melo.
Hmm.
I'm not saying Melo is the greatest basketball player, but like
Nah,
the
but
way he
Melo's
plays, the
Denver
way that
Nuggets
mid
Melo.
range,
Nuggets Melo is a monster,
Nuggets
man.
Melo and early Knicks, bro, like Nuggets Melo was crazy, bro.
Yep.
You know how unguardable Melo was? How strong this guy is in his minute? Oh my God. But yeah, like I said, there's never gonna be another Melo, but he shows the similar strength to
Hmm.
me. Not the skill specifically, but the strength of mastering a similar play
Yeah, where
because you're
he's good.
that strong. And I'm like, I'm gonna do it over and over. It's like you're looking at your defender, be like, I'm gonna do this play over and over and over, and there's nothing you can do
You
about it.
do to stop me. Yeah.
Like Kobe can say stuff like that.
Yep.
I'm not gonna put Paolo in those category, but he's a player that can potentially say that because he knows that when I get to that spot, I'm gonna do it every time.
Yeah, for
Because,
sure.
but yeah, so I know the guys always laughing in the chat, be like, "Oh my God, here goes a guy like giving too much props to the Orlando Magic." I'm not giving props too much for Orlando as a fan. It's still Knicks. It's still we're gonna if we get to them, we're gonna beat them. But I'm not gonna just say like I'm not as a fan of basketball, and I've been watching Orlando for the past 2 3 years right now. I like the culture. I like
Yeah,
culture. Like it's
I
the same
think.
thing. The Knicks just the Knicks just built the culture when they had like RJ Barrett, Randall Portis. It's the ongoing culture that's going right now. It's the strength and like Orlando's building like something like, hey, even if we have three of our stars down, we have so much culture. We know that the next man up, you have to ball. That's how McBride got to the lineup.
Yeah.
They gave him seconds, and he said
Mhm.
basically he was telling the other rookie, don't like 1 second or 1 minute is everything right now. So like take advantage of it. So I like it. Like any one that goes down right now, Orlando's gonna keep on balling, bro.
Yeah, for sure. I think what maybe because sometimes when you look at them, it's like they're playing ultimate like the team basketball, and that kind of reminds you of like the San Antonio Spurs, where they weren't sexy. Tim Duncan wasn't like Tim Duncan wasn't flashy. Paulo Banquero is not flashy. That
No,
dude
he's
just
not.
got
Yeah,
straight fundamentals. Like he's a beast. Like he could
Sugar is
he
not. Sugar's
you
not
know
sexy. Sugar's not sexy.
Yeah, he could bang it on you,
Mm.
but it's not like he's not making those one-legged threes like LaMelo. He's not crossing you over like
You
and
know, yo, I don't know
doing the
why. Off
ice
topic.
trick. Uh-huh.
Off topic. You
Mhm.
remember that summer when Murray went at Paolo?
No.
You don't remember
Oh,
that summer?
Jamal?
Not Jamal Murray. Murray from where New Orleans right now.
Oh, DeJounte?
You remember that
Uh,
summer they would have like those games, like pickup games,
yeah.
and you went at him. You don't
I think
remember?
so. I think so. I
I gotta
think so.
send you
Now
the
that
clip. I'm
yeah,
like,
I
what
think
was
so.
wrong
Now
with
that
him?
you're
Why did he do that?
talking.
Yeah. Maybe he took that personal from here. Be like, you know what? Let's go.
But yeah, those guys have they got a good mix. They got a good coach, and like you said, man, they're building culture, and they have that identity. Like next
And they
man
got
up.
another guy that's potentially building something in him as well that he he's starting to become unguardable as well. Like I said unguardable, I'm not saying they can guard him, but he's finding his spot easy. Franz Wagner.
Yeah, their
He's
second leading
he,
scorer.
yeah. They looked when Paolo was like hurt, they were looking at him to close games and he was
Mhm.
actually responding. So that's what I'm saying. Hi, that there's a water, there's good water over there. No, right now there's good water right now. There's good water. You remember like the movie, the Looney Tunes, the water that they were
Yeah,
drinking?
the good
Fake water.
stuff.
There was
The
nothing in there.
the
Like
good
the good
stuff.
stuff. Yeah, everybody got good stuff right now. Made everybody ball. But that was yeah. So that was what I wanted to cover today. I feel like they deserve visibility in a small little world of podcasts. I don't care if there's 10 people listen to this episode right now. There's 10 people that's gonna listen to Detroit and Orlando. So
Yeah.
they gotta give him props. Um. So any last words on these topics?
No, shout outs to them, man. Credits to them. I like Boncaro. And apologies to Cunningham. I wasn't familiar with your game,
Said
my brother.
nah. Said apologies. Um. All right. So let's move on to the subtopics. Very short reactions. Couple interesting stuff that happened. Um. Let's start with let's start with the Textor one. I want to see what your opinion is.
Mm.
Textor is all right. Textor is the owner of Lyon FC.
Is it
Uh,
real? Is that text thread real?
what? Yeah, it's real. He's an American, bro. What are you talking about? Yeah. So he was in RMC recently this week, and he has some interesting thing to say about the league. So he slams the owner, well, not the owner, the head of the league at the moment. His name is Vincent Labrune. So he's saying that Vincent Labrune is a lapdog of Nasser because
Mm.
he just bought Lyon I think it's gonna be a year and a half now, or maybe two. It's running on two, so he's fairly new to the league. He by the way say like the presentation of the league in the TV sucks. He's like, bro, you guys didn't even know like the owner of Rennes FC. His wife is Salma Hayek. He's like,
Wow.
he's like, he's like, you gotta make movies out of those things. That's how you like
Yeah.
get people to
Yeah.
watch.
Mm.
So he's basically saying the production sucks, and he was saying that the last meeting that they had to talk about TV rights and stuff like that, and how it's gonna be distributed, like the funds when they get distributed. And he said that instead of the head of the league talking about it, it was Nasser. So he was very confused. He's like, is it Nasser, the head of the league, or is it like Vincent Labrune? So that's why he called him a lapdog. And that was kind of like mean. And he was the WhatsApp message you saw was about Shelky. Who was that? He's like that little asshole was asking me to leave. He's like, bro. Um, people are saying there's some truth into it. Like it is not really well distributed because there's one team and there's the other team. Because I always talk about you like the Ligue 1. Like when it was competitive, it was Marseille, Lyon, then
Yeah.
Paris. in Monaco, you know?
Yep.
But now, because of how the power is has changed and the money how it's distributed and the ownership, Paris is crushing the league and it's hurting the league because there's a lot of a team that will disappear. Like a team like Lyon FC was so important
It's
in the
you.
Champions League, but you don't see them anymore.
Yeah.
Marseille was important in the Champions League, you don't see them anymore, so they kind of die in Monaco. They were guys, you know. So he was saying like if the other owners are just okay with whatever they're receiving as like little beggars, he's like this league is gonna disappear. And I won't be surprised if nothing changes in that league that he sells the team and leaves.
I mean,
I think he just sold a little ownership of Crystal Palace to Everton, one of them.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fair, man. It's tough. Like the homogeny is like it's tough. Like
Are you okay that he's calling the guy like a lapdog?
I mean, he's an American man.
He's
I
an
expect
American, yeah.
I expect nothing less. Like I expect nothing less, man. Like I feel like the reason why it works well in Germany is I think if I'm not mistaken, I think the teams are publicly traded. So I
Mm.
think the locality has ownership stakes in the team. So I think that's something that works a little bit more. But when it's like privatized, uh, and then all the money is being basically controlled by that one hand, and what PSG has been in control since what 2014, 15 or
Got that league
something
in a
like that.
chokehold, bro.
Like so that money
And
came in
Nasser
and
is the owner of beIN Sports Group,
yeah.
who
So
kind of is get you know like showing the league as well. So
all the sponsorships and all that, the TV
he
rights.
basically owns French football,
Yeah.
kind of.
So
If
that's
you kind
tough,
of like
man.
yeah.
And if you're the head of like, the biggest like, that's too much double dipping, man.
Oh,
That
yeah,
that
but
that's
most of the owners are okay maybe with what we're receiving
yeah.
themselves. But like him as an American coming to the thing is like, nah, like what's going on? Like these guys are just staying there, not saying
Like
anything.
we just gonna sit here? We just
And
gonna
then he's
accept
like,
this?
and then the other guys are just looking at me like, welcome to the league. You get your part of the cake, but you
Yeah.
don't get the cherry, my friend. So that was early this week. He was in the interview with Roten Sanflam. You know Roten.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Kolomani is going he signed his contract for
6 month deal.
6 months deal. Is it a good thing for him and Juventus or just
I mean, it's a good thing for him because he's gonna play. He it's not
well, that's
like
his audition right here.
it's not like
No,
he was
it's an
playing.
audition.
It's not like
So
he was
he's gonna
playing at
like
all.
other teams are gonna be looking what he's doing right now,
Yeah.
and then once he goes back to Paris this summer, they're gonna sell him to whoever is interested in what they're gonna see. But do you think it's gonna like okay, you're gonna play him like you're gonna probably like have different looks. Maybe you're gonna play him over Valovic and stuff like that. Who they announce as a departure? Maybe like do you think he can give more? Have you seen more of Kolomwani? Do you think like he can just switched up and perform scoring goals that Vlahovic is not doing right now?
The only thing I could I could think that he probably gives a um
Because it's a different league.
different
Like,
look
is it?
is because of
It's
go ahead.
tactical a little bit.
Yeah, it's tactical,
Does he
but
have that when they're playing
but
low blocks and stuff like that?
but here's what I'm gonna say, right? It's
Yeah.
tactical, yes, but if we could get Scott McTominay looking like prime Zidane in Italy, he's gonna be all right, man.
He said
Like
prime Zidane.
he's gonna be
I
all
think
right,
he's gonna
man.
be okay.
The thing is that like he's faster, he's more
Yeah,
athletic,
yeah.
but is he a better finisher than Vlahovic? I don't think so. I know Vlahovic
He
is
was
not
good in
clinical.
Germany, in Frankfurt. He was clinical in
Yeah,
Frankfurt.
I
Just that
mean,
Pali move was just
I don't think he was really playing striker though around
in
that time
Frankfurt.
in Frankfurt. I felt like he was
No,
more of a
Frankfurt
right
is like
winger.
that's why that's why I that's why I feel like most of those strikers when they're young, like they are listed as strikers and center forwards, but they're so fast and so like energetic and then so young. Like you remember Benzema and Lyon, like
Yeah,
he was a striker, but
La Ferrari française.
he was playing all over the field up front,
Yeah,
like on the wing and stuff like that. So in Frankfurt, he was like a kind of like a winger striker,
yeah.
and when they get older, that's when they're gonna become that number nine. Cause like I said, started like playing everywhere, but like I said, is a number nine now, like
Yep.
a real number nine, like protecting the ball and stuff like that, like scoring goals, connecting.
But I think for him it's good for Juve. It's good as well because there's this the French connection because what Kiflin is
What
there
to get more
now.
ties?
No, yeah, Kiflin is
No,
there.
I'm saying
Kiflin
like
too.
to help them to get more ties. Like you see how many ties Juventus has?
Hey, hey, they're not losing. They're gonna be invincible.
Yeah, they're gonna win. You're gonna win like that. Might as
So
well. You should have just keep Allegri.
so hopefully it works out. It pans out for him. But I like the move for him because he's actually gonna be able to get on the pitch and actually play. So
Uh,
that's better than not playing in a team that plays with zero strikers. It's crazy.
oh, um, I'm gonna let you pronounce
Mm.
Mr. Napoli's name. I feel like I'm gonna
Uh,
butcher it. I know I
Kra,
can
Kra,
say it. I,
Kravaskelia.
you're actually good with pronunciation. So yeah. So he's there. Well, he's gonna arrive Friday with 6 hours. So they probably like what? Is it Friday already? But he's gonna
In
have his
Europe, yeah.
yeah. He's gonna
Well,
have his physical in today in Europe, like later on. So tomorrow for us. And I think I think he's gonna play this weekend. I think so, maybe. They said that he should be playing.
mm,
Now he's gonna play the left wing. We have two players already playing there. We have Bakola, who just recently came to yeah, Real Madrid, like Paris Saint-Germain from Lyon,
with the big number
and
10 on his
with number
back.
10. And then they also like we're saying like, all right, Mbappe leaves, no worries, we have Bakola. And then you also bought Desiree Doué for some good money.
Hmm.
So then you bring him. So obviously he's an upgrade from both. Now, do you think that helps Paris Saint-Germain in the future, like in the quest of winning the Champions League?
To me,
Is that the first move maybe? I mean, one of the moves because they have Joao Neves they bought, they have
mhm.
Vitinha, guys like that, like young guys that are
I
growing
mean,
with the team.
it depends on how Enrique wants to play, man. It
He's
really
not playing with a number nine. That's what
it
you
that's
should do.
that exact that's the problem. Like what
He
like
doesn't want to play with number nine.
it's so what are you
He
gonna
already
do?
announced
Like
that he might have Desiree Doué play as a false nine moving forward.
it's like, dude, like we saw the combination of like how devastating it was, Kvaratskhelia and Osimhen. Like what
We
is the
oh
what is the idea here that is going to that's what I'm curious to see like how he's going to perform. I'm not even gonna look at League 1. Like I think he's gonna dog
he's
walk.
gonna be.
He's
I
gonna
don't think he's
dog
gonna
walk it.
dog walk it like because yeah, he's gonna be very good. Like
And
you're seeing Greenwood right now. He's
yeah.
okay. He's part of the top five, top six, maybe best players in Liga right now. I think he could do more actually,
Hmm.
but yeah, he's gonna be good Liga. I think the thing is that Liga is physical. I want to see how he responds to physicality, but he's gonna be good for sure. But like I
I,
said, like they're gonna judge him when he's playing Champions League night when the game is at the highest level, and I've not seen him at the highest level in the Champions League in a minute.
for sure. And
I'm
that's where my whole concern is. And I was like,
not gonna judge him this. Yeah,
why are we paying 70
Ligue
million
1, no.
dollars for a guy that's kind of like he's kind of he's not ascending. He's not peaking.
I don't think
He's
he's gonna
you
peak
know,
where
he
people think he was gonna peak, but I think he's a very good player. He's a smart player, like
yeah, he's good
smart
tech
player.
he's very
I
good
think he's gonna
technically.
work with Enrique. He
Yeah,
likes smart players.
he could operate in tight spaces.
Yeah.
But the burst of pace, I don't think he has that.
There's
The
many games he's
finishing,
gonna play against Auxerre,
mm,
Le Havre. This guy's gonna play a very low block. I think he's gonna operate well in those spaces because, like you said, he has that technicality and stuff like that. So yeah, no worries in the league. Highest performance is Champions League. That's where we
yeah,
want to see how he does here.
that's where hey, if I'm
That's where
wrong on
Paris
this
Saint
one
Germain is
too,
judged, bro.
if I'm wrong on this one too, I'll be
Next
the
week,
first. I'll be the
Paris Saint
first.
Germain seasons might be over.
Well,
Hey,
for Champions League, yep.
yeah, they play Manchester City. They
Yep.
both need the victory.
Yep. So we'll
Unless,
see.
yeah, yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Um, All right, like one more. Coupe de France. For Coupe de France, I wanted to tell
PSG
you
had a
that
scare.
yeah, PSG had a scare with the national three teams or a bunch of guys that's probably gonna work tomorrow. I'm not, it's no joke. There's one of them that called MC and said that no, he's a plumber.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. I'm
I
serious.
know that's what's funny. Like it's the same thing for when Tottenham played that team and was it the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup? I don't remember. Some of them had to be substituted early because they had to go work for a shift.
Yeah, like we're not playing, bro. We're not playing, bro. Lyon actually lost against a national three team who a bunch of
Mm-mm.
guys was gonna like literally
Mm-mm.
become plumbing. Might even come to the Lacazette's crib to fix it. If they come on, bro. Like where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh my God, I'm losing it. Like where is it?
uh,
Yeah, so Lyon lost against Bourgoin Jailleux in in penalty 4-2.
mhm.
Um Marseille lost well against Lille. Lille is a great team.
Yeah.
They lost in penalty 4-3. Marseille got kicked out. Um Monaco got knocked out too, Mike, against the
Mm.
national three team. So like you said, Paris Saint-Germain had a scare. So no, actually, Monaco lost against Reims. Reims is in the Ligue 1, but Reims beat them in penalty 3-1. So I was trying to spice it up, but it didn't work. So yeah, I thought it was. So um, people were nervous that maybe it's just the Ligue 1, the state of the Ligue 1. Like those teams don't have, they can't really, when they rest their play, like the top players, which is like what, Lacazette and stuff like that. When you rest them, you get a Miko Tadze. That's still a good player.
Mhm.
Yeah, but overall, it's the money. It's tight. You can Marseille can't even like they can't do turnovers, man. Like even the fullbacks that starts like, do you know who Muyo is, Mike?
No. Jason
Exactly.
Murillo?
I don't remember his first name, but he's
Uh,
he's 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 he, pl- he's a fullback. I know him because I watched the Marseille, but like it's very tough because you don't have no, when you have a lot of money, you can't buy quality players.
right, right, right. I mean, yeah, it's tough, but in the same token, I was like, I'd be like, there's no excuses to be losing. Like sometimes, like
No, there's
when
no excuses.
in the what is it round of 32 for like the Copa del Rey or round of 64. I don't know if they do they
These
have a round
teams
of
you're going,
64.
yeah.
When Real Madrid is playing, like they're playing. Ancelotti calls up some Castilla boys to come and play versus those Division 3 sides. It's like they'll get scored on, but they get the job done. They'll still win like
Yeah.
3-1, 4-1, 5-2, whatever it
But
is.
but please don't lie to the audience, Mike. Ancelotti is not gonna put no Castilla guys. He gonna play
What
the same.
didn't
No,
he?
no. He's gonna play Odagula. He's gonna play. He's gonna
Nah,
play
he
Ceballos.
called a couple like the
Who?
the last Copa del Rey round
Who?
that they played.
I can't know about. Oh yeah, he did. He did. You're right. You're right.
Yeah,
You're
he
right.
did. I was
You're right.
like,
You're right. Yeah.
I know. Modric started,
Yeah.
Valverde
No, you're right. He had.
started.
I think it was fullback and
Yeah,
uh, someone. I don't know.
somebody else, but I think there were two at
No, you're
least.
right. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get. Yeah. I take it back. Yeah.
So
But yeah, that's a surprise, man, in the league in the Coupe de France. So wow.
you
Let's
know
see
how I
what we
feel
have.
about that league. So
I like it. What else? What else? Marmoush is probably on his way tomorrow, probably
yes,
to
here we
City.
go confirmed. Yeah,
Um,
and like three other players, man.
Kusarov,
Cities,
Kusanov. Is it
yeah,
Kusanov? What's his name?
Kusanov,
Kusanov from
Grace,
Kusanov from Lens. Sorry,
Grace,
the Brazilian kid.
yeah, and
Yeah,
then
he's
and
on
then
his
what?
way. He gave that thing on the
Yep.
plane, so
And then
they'll
there's one, and then there's one other one that's
it's
just been
crazy.
that's just been talked about today. So
Yeah,
four signings within 2 weeks for Manchester City, man.
they have the money. That's the thing. That's what I was saying. Like when you have the money, it's
Move
easier.
different,
It's easier.
moving
But when
different.
like Manchester United, I know like if they had, that's the thing. Like Manchester City, I heard from what Pep Guardiola said. He said that over the summer, like they were saying, "Do you want to start the rebuild now?" But he said, no, like I have my players. But look, when you look at it, yeah, you bring Savinho, you still have Doku that's freshly came, and you still have Mateo Nunes you want to insert. Maybe you didn't really need players. Maybe you thought your defenders were still gonna be like physically good. Walker was like not gonna be that bad this season. I know like it's in the decline, but not like you know. Um, but the moment like you're not winning for 7 or 8 games or something like that, like okay, there's a problem. We need 3 and 4 is wild. I thought it was just gonna bring Mamouche. Mamouche makes sense. You need goals, right? It makes a
Hmm.
lot of sense. If Alan is not gonna score and Foden, you don't know if he's gonna score. Let me get the hottest scorer right now in Europe. He's direct. He wants to score. He's different than Doku. He's different than Grealish. He gives you a different look, a different kind of like the approach. You get him, but then you get a defender. All right, maybe a defender's gonna leave this summer. But that's the thing. Like, I don't think they. I don't think they. Well, they're different. Like you said, they have money. But the problem for Manchester United, who could have brought similar players as well, is just that they brought players that are not even gonna be in the team in the next 2 years. So they wasted what? How much money you spent this summer when you bought Xerxes and
Like 200 million.
that's a lot of money. Two
Yes.
hundred million can give you Yildiz. Like I said, I mean, I'm like Mike, give me that job. I'm giving you Yildiz and I'm giving you Baleba. 200 million could have give you Baleba and Yildiz, Mike, this winter.
Yeah.
That's when I think about it. When I say like, damn, like it's annoying that Manchester's not buying, but when you think about it, they're not as funded as the others. So when they make investments like that, you can't ask them to go in the winter. Let's go get another 200 million. No, no, no. You're not gonna bring me another Xerxes and then now you're gonna tell me I need more players. So they have to be careful with the money because they don't have it like that. So maybe one player, but I guess they don't have it. So
Um,
Manchester City is not gonna be like, oh, since Man United cannot buy, I want to be fair. Nobody cares. You gotta be ready. Unfortunately, there's still players, Mike. So you can get other players, but yeah,
Hopefully, I get that Nuno Mendes. Here we go. By the
here we
by the end
go.
of
You
by
just
the end
gotta
of
worry about
January.
his health because he's injury prone. So, but he's a great player to add as a wing back
Yeah.
because he
Don't
can
don't need
attack
another.
and
Don't need a black Luke Shaw now.
Black Luke Shaw. Yeah, and then he's gonna play like in a more physical league. He's gonna have a lot of contacts, so that's what I might worry about. But besides that, quality play. Um, I think that's that, Matt. I
Okay.
think we have it. Anything you want to add? Anything
No,
like
man. I'm
special
just
that happened in sports
nothing that I could think of. I'm just
or
hoping
something
for some.
funny?
I'm just
Huh?
hoping for some here he goes, man. That's
I
it.
don't think you're gonna have any heroes. I mean, you had one, a young guy that came from
Yeah,
Paraguay, right?
Diego Leon. Yeah,
You know what? I like it. I don't know him,
yeah.
but I like it. You can't buy big players. All right, let's go small.
I
Let's go.
I like the direction that they're
Let's add
going
the
in.
let's add on to the academy in the
Yeah,
future. Maybe this player's gonna come in and be ready. We can't buy 45 million per. All right, we're not gonna sit there and let other teams get the smaller players, like the and build them. We're gonna put them in our academy.
I mean, you know what I told you know you remember you know what I
What I
said in
told
the
you.
in the chat, man. I said like, hey, clearly the method that you guys have been using to scout has not worked.
No,
Big
horrible.
marking, the big spending has not worked. Let's just go small. Let's buy those young players and let's just pile them up,
Yeah, pile them
pile
up, and
them
then when
up.
you have money, you can get the
Yep,
guys. Over the
just
summer, I know they're gonna have some money. Maybe have 200 million
pile them up.
available. Yeah,
Buy them for like 4, 5, 6, 7, 10
and then you can
million.
resell them too.
Resell
It's a
them. Yep,
business. Yeah.
resell them. That's it.
All right. All right, that was a good one. Episode 94. Always available on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube.
Dusting off the cobwebs,
What was that?
Dusting off the
Oh,
cobwebs, Gotta get back into it.
yeah. Yeah. I actually forgot to say that there's some good NFL games this weekend.
Oh yeah,
Um,
playoff season.
yeah, it's playoff season, and we're gonna have NFL divisional round on Saturday. Texas is gonna play Chiefs at 4:30 p.m. Commanders later at that night versus the Lions at 8 p.m. on Saturday. Good game. And on Sunday, we have the Rams versus the Eagles, 3 p.m. And the Ravens and the Bills, which is going to be the weekend game. Sunday
It's
at
a
6:30 p.m.
big
Get
game.
your beer ready, but don't drive. Big game. All right. Thank you very much, guys. Peace.